Hey, Rotary Swing golfers, this is RST instructor Chris Tyler, and it is my great pleasure to bring to you the 2015 Masters champion, Jordan Spieth, who is now number 2 in the world golf rankings. We're going to be discussing a topic that we've covered in the past, and that's how to use your trail foot properly down in the hitting area so that you can use it as a break, and that's going to allow you to release the hands and arms independently from the body and be at max speed at impact, and also can help you be a lot more accurate. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Alright gang, so if you're joining us on the YouTube channel, and before I get started with showing you how to use the trail foot properly in the golf swing, I'm going to go ahead and include a special bonus clip at the end of this video called the roll of the right foot. It's just going to be a preview, and if you want to see the full version, you can either click the link in the description below, or you can click the link at the end of the video. It'll automatically start to play at the conclusion of this analysis. And remember, if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button below, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post those up. Now let's take a look at this awesome golf swing. Alright guys, so as I said in the opener, we're going to be discussing a topic that has created a little bit of controversy in the golfing world about how to use your trail foot properly in the golf swing so that you can stall the lower body out and then in turn release the hands and arms independently from the body so you can be at max speed at impact. And it's something that Jordan does really well, even though it's not necessarily what we would consider to a rotary swing model swing move. He still does it well enough to where I want to showcase it. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and get Jordan down to an address position. We're going to go ahead and work into the takeaway. Notice how the hips start to shift and load up into that right side. And then as he starts to work his hands and arms up into the vertical plane, pay very close attention to his hips. I'll point out his belt loop right here. Pay close attention to his hips, how they're not really moving or rotating at all. Okay, so he's got that right side loaded up and ready to rock and roll. And if we want muscle groups to kind of fire in order, we want to load them in order. So obviously we want to start our downswing with the lower half. So you see him kind of shift, load into that side, and now he's going to start his downward move with a really good, strong transition. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So now he's going to start to unload here. He gets back into that square hip and square knee position. This is a great move. We actually have a video on the website that I'm sure you guys have all seen. It's the squat to square video that Chuck did. It's a great video to teach you how to start the downward move with the lower half, providing that you've already loaded your right side up properly. All right, so you can see that he's done that really well, unloading into that lead side. And now this is where he's going to start to push with both legs. He's actually using his trail foot to push a little bit down in the hitting area, and he's also driving up off of that left foot as well. All right, so the reason why I say that this is not necessarily to a model swing standpoint, we would normally like to see this trail foot down on the ground, this trail heel, but rolled all the way to the inside part of the trail foot. And when you start to push really hard from that trail side, you can see that he's actually rolling to the outside part of the lead foot here. And in turn, that can put a lot of strain, a lot of pressure on the knee and the outside part of the hip girdle. It can start to strain the labrum. So, you know, obviously he's still making a very good pass at it, and he's still, from when I show you guys these next few moves, you're going to see that this trail foot becomes a good break in his golf swing. So let's go ahead and mark a few things here. I'm going to mark where his foot is off the ground, and then I'm going to go ahead and mark his belt loop back here. Okay, this is his belt loop, this is his club face. All right, so he's at the release point of the golf swing. So now watch these next few moves. So he's going to stall this lower half out. Lower half is not really rotating at all. Notice the trail foot as he's releasing it through here. Trail foot's not lifting it up off the ground any further than it was. And the belt loop actually hasn't rotated any further than where it was. It actually moved a little bit forward because he's still transferring his weight into that lead side. So this is a great example of how to use that trail foot as a break so that you can release the hands and arms independently. He's now moved this golf club a good 7 to 10 feet from where it was at the starting point over here where we had it, where we were starting the release. So it's something you can actually try out. If you held a golf club over at the 9 o'clock position, held it, you know, kind of tight where your wrists were kind of locked in place, and then just spun your body back and forth, you would notice that you can't really get the club moving very fast. That's because the club is only going to move as fast as your body's rotating. But then if you shifted your weight to the left and then just released your wrist, you would notice that you can get the club moving really fast. And that's what we're trying to preach here, is that we want to be able to work efficiently through the hitting area. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to load the body up, unload it, stall it out, and then release it. And in turn, you're going to be at max speed at the hitting area where it counts the most. So that was the whole point of today's review, is that I wanted to show you guys a really clear example of how Jordan uses that trail foot. And in turn, he's obviously playing some of his best golf. He's hitting a lot more greens now. The kid putts the lights out of it. And it's just a great example of how we want to use the lower body. But you can be a little bit safer with it by making sure that lead side is stabilized. And a couple videos that are going to help you out with that is perfecting lower body stability. That's a video that we just put out. Squat to square is another great video. And then the roll of the right foot. Those videos are all going to help you with your lower body and help you motor up and power up your golf swing. All right, guys, so that's our review on the 2015 Masters champion Jordan Spieth. I hope you guys have a great day, and let's play some great golf.
Now that we've talked about that sitting into the left side in the downswing and keeping the hips a little bit more square and releasing everything, getting the club to come back down, using our arms to help facilitate that process, we need to add the right foot movement. This is, for some of you, if you do this correctly already, great. A lot of you don't, because what I see as you come into the downswing, this right heel's up off the ground real early and it's moving in this way, and that's getting your hips spinning really fast, and so you're losing the stability and things in the being able to use the ground for leverage, and so you're trying to drive too hard with your hips. So what we want to do at first, when we have that problem, when the right foot's coming up real early and we're spinning the hips, we want to work on keeping that right heel on the ground and rolled slightly in while hitting shots. So basically, what you're looking for is, as you come down into impact, this would be an ideal impact here, basically with my right foot. Not up off the ground, not moving my knee in. It's going to roll slightly in as I shift my weight, and my right leg is passive, relatively passive here as I shift into it. Now that right heel is rolling in. As the club releases, it continues to roll, and then I can come up to a full finish. So what we want to feel is going to the top of the swing, work on sitting into the left, firing the right arm, and notice how I keep my right foot down until it's pulled up. You want to exaggerate keeping that inside of the right foot down the whole time until your arms are about 9 o'clock. Then you're going to have to come up at that point. But that's a great feeling, is to get here and then let that right heel come up. I'm not saying to keep your right foot flat, we're getting to the inside of it. So notice, if I kept it flat, then I'm going to be hitting balls off my back foot like this. Now I've got a lot of weight back here. The weight is moved to the left, which gets us rolled to the inside of the right foot. The outside of it's coming up off the ground just a little bit. And then as I release the club, it rotates on in.